everybody, welcome back to Chic on the Cheap. Okay, so it's February and it's still a little cold outside, but you may be starting to clean out your closet and get rid of all your old sweaters to make room for your spring wardrobe. But before you throw them away or donate them, think about recycling them into a brand new hat. Now, I love knit hats, but I'm not really that great at knitting. So this is a way that I took an old knit sweater that I had and turned it into this great hat. And here's how I did it. Okay, your first step is to take two important measurements: the circumference of your head, which should go above your ear and around the back nape of your neck, and then the height of your head, which should go from the crown of your head and again back down to the nape of your neck. Now we're going to create a pattern piece with those measurements. So take out a piece of paper, take the circumference number that you measured, divide it by 5 and add 1 to that number. So my number was 6, so I drew a 6-inch line, and then I made a mark in the middle of that line for the height measurement that I took from my head. And then from that height measurement, starting at the corner of my baseline, I drew up to that height measurement in kind of an arcing line. Then I cut that side, folded it over in half on itself, and cut the other side so that my pattern piece would be perfectly symmetrical. So this is the only pattern piece you're going to need to make your hat, and this is what it looks like. When you have that done, lay your sweater out, kind of get an idea of where the height is going to hit on that piece, and then I just went ahead and cut off the top of my sweater and cut the seam down the side of the sweater so I had one long piece of sweater material to work with. Now when you have that all cut out, take your pattern piece, pin it onto your sweater material, and you're going to cut out 5 of these triangles, just cut right around your pattern. Now once you have all of your pieces cut out, go to your sewing machine and you're going to sew a series of seams. You're going to put the pieces face to face just like this and sew down one side of these triangles to just connect these two. And you're going to keep doing that until you have sewn all of the 5 triangles into one long strip. Now once you have them all sewed together, here is what it should look like. This is looking at the inside of your hat. I've sewn all the triangles together in one long piece. Now to complete the hat and close it up, all you're going to do is put those last 2 ends face to face just like this, and then you're going to sew one seam to close that hat up. It should just be one straight seam. Now when you get done sewing that seam, this is going to be kind of what your hat looks like. When I got done, I had a lot of extra little fabric pieces at the top that I didn't really want, so I sewed a little circular seam right where I'm pointing with my finger to kind of close off and shape the top of that hat, and then I just trimmed off that excess fabric so I didn't have kind of a cone head shape, and here's the final hat. Now to embellish your hat a little bit, take some scraps from your sweater and cut out some small circles. Doesn't really matter what size, just kind of small. And then take some hot glue and work your way around the edge of that circle and just tuck in those raw edges onto the glue, and this will help you make some little rosette pieces. As you tuck that edge onto the glue, here's what it's going to kind of look like. Now I made a larger one and a smaller one, and then I took my smaller one and just glued it right on top of my larger one to make kind of a little flower, and then I just added a wooden button onto the top of that to complete my little flower for my hat. And the last step is just to put your hat on, get an idea of where you want to put that flower at, and then either sew or glue that flower into place. Either one will work. I hot glued mine just because I think it's a little bit easier. But once you put the flower in place, your hat is done, and it's as easy as that. And that's this week's Chic on the Cheap. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you right back here next week.